Alright, we're going to be watching Russettater, who is playing Lucio, and this is Bronze 1. This is what they wrote. Um, this vid has it all. Team leaving payload alone for a full minute while pushing way too deep. A DPS Moira running to the front lines. The other team in Junkrat with a limitless ult and about 6 team kills. And a turret that no one else sees that cuts everybody up at the end. Oh, and the team saying, we need heals guys, lots of heals, and spamming the heal button pre-fight lobby. Then afterwards, the losing team was all GG, well played, so close. I'm Lucio, and I feel helpless in games like this. The team had good enough stats to where we could have potentially won, but obliviousness seems to be prevailing. Any tips would be appreciated on what to do to pull out a win like this. Should I be wall riding more? I tried to boost here and there, but they didn't feel like they were being used. I feel like a hopping idiot while trying to activate payload. Should I go to the corners of the square to activate? What do I do when my team goes into the great beyond after scoring the first point? No one even looks at the payload, and Moira charges headfirst into a junk trap and dies right away, leaving no support. Yet no one is close to payload but me. Should I go to the team or stay on payload? All I do is ineffectual poking. We'll try to stay with the payload. Should I have used ults more often? I tried to time them right, and I got a decent counter on a recent ult, but I feel like I could have timed them better. Thanks. All right, so for starters, I would say that the general tone of this post is that you're focusing a lot on what the rest of your team is doing wrong. But if you're the same rank as them, you're doing just as many things that are wrong. I think that's really important to emphasize for everybody is you are definitely doing just as many mistakes as them. Otherwise, you would be climbing out of this rank, right? So as stupid as everybody else's mistakes are, you are making almost assuredly the same mistakes. So we'll cover them as we go through the game, but I think that's really important to note. You covered a lot of items here like boosts and things like that, and those are being useful. And I'm sure we'll see opportunities where they are or are not being helpful to your team. So for starters, let's look at this game. You're playing Lucio on attack on Paraiso. Looking at your team, right? So you have a Sigma. So Sigma is a poke tank, right? He is not a run in there and kill everybody all at once. He's like, I'm going to put up a shield. I'm going to shoot you. I'm going to use grass. I'm going to shoot you. And eventually I'm going to wear down your resources until you collapse, okay? He's the classic, poke tank, especially now that Reese has been reworked. So you have a Moira, lots of healing coming out of Moira. I would expect the Moira to basically always keep your Sigma. Sigma doesn't need a lot of healing. He has a lot of damage mitigation tools already. So your Moira should easily be able to keep your Sigma healed. You have an Ashe, also a long-range poke hero, which is good. And then you have a Bastion, who's also, I would say, pokey. Now the rework Bastion I haven't thought about too much. I would consider a problem in the category of poke. He has basically 6 seconds up where he's like the most dangerous hero in the game, and 12 seconds down where he's basically useless. The primary issue here is that none of these people need your speed, right? Lucio's played for his speed, effectively. Like, that's like the biggest thing that you provide compared to other supports. Your healing is irrelevant. Virtually irrelevant, right? Because all the other supports heal way better than you do and more consistently. So your healing is just not that big a difference maker in terms of winning the game. So if you're playing Lucio, you should be playing for speed. And to a lesser extent, your ultimate, which is beat, right? And using beat to counter big time ultimates that other people can't counter, things like blade, junk tire, etc. Right? Those are what beat is great at. So, does anyone here need speed? Well, Sigma doesn't need speed. He's not trying to go anywhere. He just sets up, right? Pokes at them until they die, right? That's fine. The speed's not really helpful. Moira, does she need speed? Not really. Moira's incredibly independent support. She's probably one of the best, independent supports. Has a fantastic, one of the best defensive abilities in the game. She has the ability to even win one-on-ones. Her healing orb can keep anybody up in a one-on-one for basically forever. She's effectively not diveable unless she uses Fade poorly. She doesn't need you, right? She doesn't need you to peel. She doesn't need your speed. It's fine. Ashe doesn't need your speed either. She pokes from long range. That's easy. It's not like a Reaper, right? Someone who needs to get up close to do damage. She doesn't need your speed as well. Bastion sort of needs your speed. I think the thing about Bastion is that when he does go into assault form, right, and starts mowing people down, they'll take cover, and speed can help your Bastion get around cover, right, get around a corner, and be able to kill more people. So he sort of needs your speed. But of this 5-person team, right, you're one of them. So 4 of the people, 3 of them don't need your speed at all. Or frankly, anything from you. I mean, you can kind of peel for the Ashe, but 3 of them don't need your speed, and 1 of them only sort of needs your speed. That makes Lucio not a great choice in this situation. Does it mean you can't play Lucio? No. Does it mean you can't win with Lucio? Absolutely not. It's still going to come down to your individual skill more than anything else. I'm just noting from the beginning that Lucio is not a great pick in this situation. Let's play. Alright, so this is pretty regular. Okay, so first of all, you just fired 8 shots at nothing. And when I say nothing, I mean literally there is no one visible on your screen right now. And you're just shooting at a wall. Maybe you're trying to pre-fire there where someone might be, but there's no one here. right? And now, right? Well, the junk just died. Okay, you're just kind of hanging out back here. I don't know why you're looking back there. I don't know if you heard something, but there's nothing over there. Okay, you're switching speed. So that's a good example where like the Bastion is an assault form. Like giving him speed there so he can move forward is good. Now he's back out of assault form. Okay, now you're reloading. So far you fired, I don't know, 20 shots and you have not hit or gotten troops hitting anything, okay? So now you're running around. I don't think you really know what you're supposed to be doing. I think that's starting to already be obvious even from like a few seconds, right? So your Sigma's over there putting pressure on the team. What's your plan here? Well, you've gotten a pick. You've actually gotten 2 picks, right? So your goal here should be speed my team into them so we can wipe them very quickly and we can cap the point, right? The fight's basically won. They've already killed 2 of the 5 people, so you should just go, right? You want to prevent them from retreating safely, regrouping with the rest of the team, and fighting you as 5. So my perspective playing Lucio right now is I want to be on speed, and I want to speed my team into them, okay? Let's see what you actually end up doing. You hang out here in the back with health. Everyone on your team is full health. This is not helpful. Now you have speed, okay? Now you amp, all right? But the thing is, like, your Sigma's kind of still playing back here, right? Your Bastion in the hand was pushing. So I understand, like, maybe your Sigma's, like, on the same page here, but he's clearly kind of spooked. So was the right call to speed your Sig? Probably. I would say at higher levels that probably would have worked. Your Sigma would have recognized it. But here, your Sigma's clearly not on the same page. So I'm like, okay, I speed. My Sigma's clearly not going. I come back here and help the Bastion, which is effectively what you're doing here. Right? I think booping here is good, right? Knocks her kind of out of position. Again, right now, speed is more important than anything else, right? Speed, speed, speed. Okay, now you're at speed. So you eat that spam, okay? I think one thing that's recognized is that you don't instinctively wall run. And if you play Lucio, you must wall ride all the time. Like all the time. If you're like, oh man, it seems like a pain to keep thinking about wall ride, don't play Lucio. You must wall ride like almost all the time. Can you get out of bronze without wall riding? Absolutely. You could probably get to at least gold without wall riding at all. You could literally just ignore that passive altogether and play on the ground. But if you ever want to really succeed and climb as Lucio, you're going to need to learn wall riding. It's a critical part of his kit that you must get good at doing. So I suggest you just instinctively wall ride all the time whenever possible. Alright, so they're dead. Fight's over. You're just kind of shooting a lot of shots here at nothing, which you might be like, okay, what does it matter? What if somebody shows up? Right? Then you have no ammo when you're reloading, right? Or you have half ammo and you can't kill them because you're running out of ammo because you're just wasting it. Like you're wasting a ton of shots here, you're shooting nothing. Right. So you're back to heal, which is fine. There's nothing really to do right now. I mean, honestly, what should be happening is your team should be advancing, but because this is bronze, no one is aware of this. Everyone's just like kind of stacking up point, which is okay. Like it's not gonna make a big difference right now. Like what should be happening is basically at least 2 people, up to potentially 4, should be pushing forward right now and looking for kills like these to continue staggering the opponent so that you can push forward, right? But your whole team's stacking on it. Again, the maximum amount is 3 for cap speed, but it's fine, right? So this is a good example where it's like, what? They're coming in, they're kind of like walking in and just staggering in, trying to contest. What's happening right now? So you see this guy right here, right? So this is the Moira that's walked in. Go kill the Moira. Right? So, just mindlessly walking around in circles right here is very dangerous because then Junkrat could come in and kill you and spam or something like that, right? So right there, you actually saw the Orisa. After this. So you saw her right there, right? And you should have been like, okay, I should now help deal with this Orisa. Right? But again, you're not registering it, you hear the sound, you're getting shot at, you're still not paying attention to it. Okay, great. Now you're actually on the Orisa. But you notice that all your shots are just way off. Like, Orisa's a huge target. Like, you should hit 100% of your shots on Orisa. Like, let's play this slowly so you can see. Right? It's like, you're not even close to hitting the Orisa on the shots. Like, you gotta make sure your crosshair's actually on the Orisa before you start shooting. Alright. Orisa's dead here. You're just kind of hopping a lot, which is again not good. I tell people all the time, don't hop. It's a bad habit to get into. All right, great. So you get a little bit of speed here. So one of you needs to stay on the cart, right? Probably it's going to be you in this scenario to help the Moira go forward. It could be the way around, but Moira just provides more healing. This is your job, right? I know you complain a lot. You're like, oh, I'm on the cart. Like this is your job, is to stay on the cart. So the number one thing I will say is it is more important to win team fights than it is to push the cart. So if there's ever a time where you're like, oh shoot, the team is going to lose without me, you should go forward and help win the fight and then come back to the cart, right? There should never be a scenario where it's like, oh, I could have done something, but I chose to push the card. Like sometimes things will happen. Like if someone gets picked up here, you're not gonna be able to do anything about that. There's no way you could have known to like pocket them from the. Not that you can pocket much, but there's no way you would have known to stay with them the whole time. Somebody has to move the card at some point, right? But if it like looks close and you have the opportunity to get up there, you do it. One of the reasons that Lucio is one of the fastest heroes in the game, so you can get up very quickly. So, okay, so let's kind of walk through this right now. So you got some people here who are injured, right? I have no idea where your Moira is. Okay, your Moira's just going crazy right now. So you kind of question is like, okay, the Moira's like these two are critical. The Moira's up there. What do you do right now? I think I leave cart here, right, and go heal. I mean, it's funny because like at my level, this just never happens. Like this like kind of wacky scenario will never occur unless the Moira is dead. But I think in this situation, like whatever minuscule distance you'll get from the cart is irrelevant compared to making sure these people get healed. So the Ashe is going for the Mega here, which I don't know if you knew this, but their Mega is actually over here. The Ashe clearly was like, oh shoot, and probably didn't like recognize how far she had to go and just got lost. Again, this is bronze, totally normal. So you see how long you're on speed? Like you could be healing the Ashe a ton right here, right? Also, what happened to your amp? So amp's a really big deal, right? Amp usage is critical to climbing, and you got to do it at the right time, and it has a long cooldown. You amp from here. You are way too far away, and you can look at videos online to see the aura. You are way too far away to heal, right? So first of all, it's line of sight only, so people who are around walls won't help. So the Ashe definitely is going to get at this no matter what. Let's look at your Bastion, who is the one who actually needs health, right? Is he getting healed right now? He is not, right? So you amped, and you got him no healing whatsoever. So you're just, that's like not ideal, right? Right now, imagine if you would amp right now, right? Amp heals, I have to check my notes, it's something like 90 health or something, like within a few seconds. This would be a massive deal to heal this, right? That's like 200 healing right there. Again, you're on speed right now. These people need healing. For once, like, you need to be on heals, finally, right? Again, they get rolled because they have no health. And you could have healed them. That is not your Moira's fault. Like, yeah, your Moira shouldn't have been dying, absolutely, but you made, honestly, just as much of a, you know, a head-scratching move not having healing there for your teammates that you were trying to heal. You were on speed aura, and then you used amp on heal when you were way too far away, right? So again, here's a scenario where like I would go up and I would use speed to get my Sigma out of there. The only scenario he lives here is if he takes cover, right? Healing is not going to save him. Your healing only does about 24 health a second. Somebody can melee, just meleeing nonstop for perspective is 60 damage a second. That is how little healing your non-amped heal does, is that they can literally melee someone over twice as fast as you can heal for how little damage that does, right? Okay, they're dead. Now you leave, right? Don't stagger. Go back. Right? I would play up here just in case my Moira does something crazy. Again, a big part of Overwatch is that your teammates will make mistakes, just like you will make mistakes. And as a support, one of your biggest jobs is to cover up for other people's mistakes. Is your Moira out of position? Yes. But your job is to help her, right? Now you're kind of wandering back here instead of looking at what's going on in the Moira. Like, you turn your back to the enemy a lot. Right? It's like taking cover here. That's fine. Okay? Yeah, just chill. Now, as soon as I see this, I want to put pressure on the Orisa. I want to be shooting, right, while strafing here, putting pressure on the Orisa and seeing how this fight develops. Instead, you just turn right now. But why? You're in no danger. You're full health, and your whole team is spawning here. This Orisa has 0%. I don't care if it's a top 500 Orisa. There is no way that Orisa can kill you right now from this distance. It's like impossible. Even with an aimbot, I do not think that Orisa could kill you from this distance before you could take cover or amp heal or your teammates kill her first. It's like impossible from this distance. And it's probably an experience thing, right? I know this from having played, 1,000+ hours of Overwatch, that the Orisa cannot kill you from this distance. But you have to recognize sometimes where you're totally safe, and the best thing for you to be doing is attacking, right? Because you could be farming a lot of ult charge and putting pressure and potentially getting a pick here. Instead, you just wander back here, right? Again, lots of missed shot. I think your accuracy is under 10%. I would say potentially even under 5%. Like, it's not even remotely close. Right? Like, you see how these shots are way off? You're shooting and you're like, I would play deathmatch a lot more, honestly, as Lucio. Just get used, right? Again, these shots way off base. Like, not a chance of hitting. Right? Look at these shots like into the wall right there. Like, this isn't just an aim issue. I think it's actually like a trigger discipline issue. You're shooting when you aren't even aimed at an enemy. It's one thing to be like, oh, it's hard to be precise with the shots. That I get. But you're shooting at walls a lot, right? Or when no one's visible on your screen, I think you're potentially even having trouble like processing the information that's going on right now, and you're just hitting left click like instinctively without thinking about what you're shooting at. All right, again, like what's our plan here? Okay, great, damage. You want to finish? Okay, so you'd be very careful chasing. The Orisa's already spinning, right? You know there's a Junkrat. The Junkrat mines came by, nearly killed you. You should be very careful. You don't want to be leading the charge here, especially not just walking down main like this. All right, for Sigma Lift does 50 damage plus 50% of their max health. Okay, which means it will never kill someone from full health. All right, a 200 health hero will do 150 damage, which means all you need to do is 50 damage to them to kill. Your attacks do 20 damage each, I believe. So if you land 3 of the 4 balls, I don't know exactly what to call them, the shots, 3 of the 4 projectiles, right? That will make sure they die from Sigma, assuming they don't get any healing, or potentially, you know, 1 headshot and 1 body shot. So I'm looking, in this scenario, the Orisa I know is super low, is probably going to die here. I'm looking to kill this Mercy right here, right, when she comes down. You see how low she is? So you could have gone forward, for example, wall-righted up the left, and tried to kill this Mercy when she landed, right? Instead, you do a lot of shooting, not at anything. Again, like, none of this shooting is doing anything. Okay, great. Like, you died to Tiger. There's nothing you could do about that, except farm ulti faster and be able to get beat. But ultimately, this fight doesn't matter, strangely enough, because you're at your spawn. This is not a big deal. Like, all this does is buys them 10 seconds. Versus if they win this fight, with ulti, like over here, let's say, losing this fight will cost you 30 seconds because you gotta respawn and walk all the way back. This is one of the reasons why using ultis to wipe the team next to your spawn is not a great idea, and often will result in you eventually getting rolled. Okay, again, you're on heal right now. There's nobody to heal. Everyone's full. So you should also be shooting at head level, though that feels like probably the least of your worries right now. So also, when you jump, it throws off your own aim, right? It makes it vertical. I would say, in general, avoid jumping. Right? Again, look at all these shots that don't have a prayer of landing, because you're just shooting them into the wall. Right? Miss. Right? Okay, those at least, that was like, okay, like, those are fine. Like, that I think is a reasonable shot to take, right? Those shots are going into the wall. Those shots also going to the wall. They're not going to be here, right? There's no way the team is going to step forward and strafe right in front of your Orisa like that. They're going to be moving backwards. Okay, your Moira takes damage. You switch to amp, that's fine. I think that's a reasonable thing. Okay, now I switch back to speed. Everyone's full health. Switch back to speed. All right, especially I want to get to my Moira. My Moira's low. I need to go rescue my Moira. You can see that the Moira is critical. This is not just a replay thing. You can see your teammates through walls. You can see they're critical. By the way, have allied health bars on if you don't have that by default. So speed, run to your Moira, start healing your Moira. Right? Why are you doing this? You're not doing anything of value right now. Okay, again, lots of jumping, a lot of not doing anything. So once you get better at Lucio, you understand one of your jobs actually is also off-angle control, which is Lucio's pretty good. Not necessarily to kill, but to disrupt people who are trying to use off-angle. That Junkrat was at an off-angle, and you can do a lot there to force him back. However, that's like too complicated for me to explain and for you to grasp right now at your level. Okay, so you guys won the fight, great. Frankly, by the way, they won the fight without anything from you. Like, if you had not been there at all, your team still would have won that fight because your contributions were near zero.
Not my first rodeo. Certainly not my last.
Okay. So, once again, the fight is breaking out, okay? You used amp here. I would not use amp here because my Moira is not that low and she's already behind cover. Like, she's safe. I don't know why I didn't know 50%, but she's safe. Like, yeah, okay, she takes a hit, right? Either I would have amped right away before she got around cover. At this point, she's safe. She only has 40 health left. I don't want to be amping, right? Because I need this amp for the speed. You should think about starting every fight with an amped speed. Is very, very helpful to get people into position, right? Everybody starts a fight, they want to go somewhere, and that's where speed is really, really important on attack. Okay, so standing right here, again, dangerous for mines. Okay, you see how your Bastion is in turret form? I want to be switched to speed to let my Bastion move forward and make use of this. I definitely don't want to be on the other side of the cart where nobody can benefit from this because the cart blocks line of sight. You are doing nothing. Literally, when I say nothing, I'm not like exaggerating. I am saying actually you provide 0 value in the position that you're in right now. Nobody's getting heal, no one's getting speed, and you're not able to attack the enemy. This is a 0 value position. Like, you might as well not exist right now. Okay, again, you come over. You're still on heal. None of your teammates are injured. You're still providing 0 value. Right? Still 0 value. And you're also not hitting shots. Okay, great. You take a shot now. So this is a pretty tight fight, right? Like, I can recognize as teams get closer, fights get more intense, and people die faster. This is when I would be beating, right? So that we can win this fight right now. Okay, you're still just healed. You're still just healed. Like, this Junkrat is like a huge problem. Again, at higher levels, I think that you can go up here and actually force the Junkrat back. But right now, okay, great. So Orisa uses her ulti. You just do nothing. Like, you have so many options right now to deal with this. Okay. First, so you get sucked in. You could switch to speed right now and amp, and everyone could survive. You could potentially beat. That's dangerous, but you could potentially beat and survive. You could heal amp here and potentially survive. You do 0 of these things. I guess you do heal, right? But I think speed is actually the right call there to get everybody out of the aura as fast as possible. And also, probably don't spam. Right? But again, notice that if you beated when I said to beat, all of that's irrelevant, right? Everyone gets plus 900 health, and this whole thing is irrelevant, right? The Orisa walks in, tries a Sigma, and then she dies. So again, lots of potential value there, right? So I'm gonna just kind of follow this and maybe to your first beat. Alright, you guys are dying at spawn. Again, I think a reason you're dying at spawn here is because you're not providing any impact, right? You're providing almost no healing and no speed, no utility, no off angles, pressure, no defense, right? Like, this Junkrat is somebody that you could potentially deal with, right? Again, look at these shots that are just going into the wall. I mean, I don't understand when you're planning on beating here, right? Like, your tank is getting focused here. Your Moira's trying to heal with Coalescence, still dying. Your whole team was up. Like, I don't really get what you're waiting for the beat. Okay, now it's 4-4. I don't know if you're tilted or piping or whatever is going on right now. Okay, great. Yeah, this is pretty tough to watch because... Okay, you got Rein. Rein's an excellent tank, right? Lucio is the best possible support for a Rein, right? A lot of high-level players refuse to play Rein without having a Lucio at all because of how difficult it is to play Rein without Lucio, right? But again, with Lucio, it's great. Oh boy. Again, speed here. Oh, again, you could have helped kill the Mei and prevented and saved your Bastion. Okay, Tire's coming. This is a good react beat, right? Right. For the record, you should still hunt down the Tire because if it just delays, the beat will run out. So I think it is the right call to go back and so you see your jumping is like throwing off your aim like crazy. Heal. Okay, I'm gonna skip forward to the end because I'm pretty sure that the tips are gonna be there. Like, let's see potentially what you could have done for the last fight. Okay, way too far ahead of the team. Right, again, speed here to get people out, not healing. Healing is not gonna be enough. Okay, they die. Right, again, I switch to speed right now because you're. I guess we're just gonna try. Nope, that was right. Wrong call. The res. Speed. Try to get away from the Tire. No. Okay, I mean now you're kind of in stagger mode. So you speeding out is not super helpful. I would wait for the Rein because you getting out here quicker is not gonna do anything. You know what I mean? Like, there's 5 people here. You're Lucio. What are you gonna do? You're not gonna stop anything. You have to get your Rein out faster. You wasting amp right now, which is on like a 13-second cooldown, is not help. Like, you see, you come out here and you're like, you just go back anyway. What's the point of amping? You just went back to the spawn. You need your Rein out here as soon as possible. You should have waited for the Rein to come out and then amp. Now your Rein's going. Follow your Rein. Why are you not following the Rein? Your Rein is who actually needs you, right? Okay, so you got this. You have beat. Okay, you should be on speed to get back to the Rein. Right. Okay. So this is for your team, right? This is your Bastion's ulti. I was like confirming you should not be beating here. Well, I guess you're beating the Savior Rein maybe, but like Ryan should be fine here, ideally, right? Because your Mercy's already healing him. He's got shield. Like, your Reese is not going to fail, right? I think your beat was way too early. I understand, but I think your beat was way too early. Again, try to maintain line of sight of your Ryan, right? Without maintaining line of sight, it's not going to... It's not going to... I mean, dying to this turret is absolutely not your fault, or not your team's fault, right? You could literally have just walked to your right here. Like, just walk to your right and you're fine. You walk in a straight line away from the turret for it to kill you. You had plenty of time to dodge that, and now everyone on your team dies. Okay. What do I say here? I would say number one is I don't think you understand the core aspect of what Lucio brings to the team, which is speed. I think you should not be thinking, how can I find more opportunities to heal people? It should be, how can I find more opportunities to speed people? And if you don't know what those are, you could look at higher level replays, right? You could look at the many Lucio guides. I think Spiral actually just published one today on Overwatch University. Or you could just play the game more. I mean, with experience, you just understand, especially if you play out the characters, you'll be like, I really wish I could go faster right now. And then you recognize, oh, as Lucio, that's something you can help with. Number one. Number two, your aim is... aim/trigger discipline is, quite frankly, very bad. You're shooting at nothing, literally nothing, and that makes it really, really hard for you to ever get any value. You're not farming ultimate, you're not putting damage pressure down, you're never going to get any kills. I would be very surprised if you got a single final blow in this entire game, which is not great. You just need to be able to hit shots, which I think is mostly a trigger discipline issue versus an aim issue. And number three is your amp usage is not ideal. I don't think you have a good sense of like what's happening in the battlefield at a time to understand, do I need to amp heal? Do I need to amp speed? Who should I be following around? I think that there's a lot of problems here all over the place. I think as a general overall idea, I think I would say is that I think you'd be more mindful about your gameplay, right? Pick goals, small goals, and try to focus on them, right? Like if you're playing with Ryan, be like, I just want to give my Ryan speed as much as I possibly can. I'll switch to heal only when I have to, but like generally, I want to give my Ryan speed as much as I possibly can and just see how that works out, right? Or I want to peel an off tank, or I want to wall ride more, or something like that, and just focus on little things to improve. Hopefully that's helpful.